Hey, welcome to Moina Bass Fishes. And today we're on the eve of our official practice for the Major League Fishing Tacklewarehouse Pro Circuit event on Pickwick Lake. Before I go any further, I'd like to dedicate this week, whether I do well in this tournament or do bad in this tournament, I'm dedicating this tournament to my dad, Jack Moina, who passed away March 31st. And with each video I create this week, I just would like to give a little brief either story or a little tidbit about him and how it perhaps relates to fishing. And I'm going to start with perseverance. Perseverance was a trait that my father had as strong as probably anybody. And somehow that was passed on to me. I don't know if it was just, I don't know how these things get passed on necessarily, but I'm thankful to have the perseverance that he had. Maybe not even as strong as he had, but that's one of those traits that has served me well in my tournament fishing is perseverance. When you're late in the day and you only got one or two fish, you just stay with it. When you have inclement weather that you didn't anticipate, or you had something breaks down, whatever, you just figure out a way to get through it and get it done well and succeed in despite of the odds that are presented. You get through it and you succeed. And that's what he did. He played football in high school and college. He was probably the smallest man on the field just about every time they played. It didn't matter. He played defensive back, and there's many times where he was laid out with concussions. That's how he played. He played the game to hit hard, and hit often. He often led his teams in tackling, and it's just tenacious and perseverance. He was the underdog, the smallest guy on the field, yet he made his presence known. He persevered. Even despite his small size, he managed to play big. And he went on to coach football later in life, high school football. It was a school. The schools that he ended up coaching football didn't necessarily have, for example, he coached a school called St. Paul Como Park. In his conference were the three big Catholic schools that drew all the best athletes from St. Paul into their schools. So all the St. Paul City schools really were at somewhat of a disadvantage, including my dad's team, St. Paul Como Park. It didn't matter. He did everything he could to field the best game, to field the best game, the best players, and to give these other schools everything they got. And he was the underdog, but he seemed to thrive as the underdog. Yes, they did not, most of those games against the big schools, they didn't win, but it still didn't matter. It was, he would enter every game with a game plan that in his mind was a pathway to win, to victory. And in so doing, in his coaching career, he did win Coach of the Year more than once in the St. Paul City Conference for football. That's just a couple examples of his perseverance as an underdog and seeing it through, seeing it to the end. And he has passed that gift on to me to some degree. I don't know if I actually match what he does, but I have this knack of, I'm just relentless in my fishing, no matter how bad my practice was, no matter how late in the day it gets, and I've hurting on fish, I just stick to it the best I can, trying to make new decisions, trying to make the right decisions, trying to put myself in a position where I start catching fish. And then also, it's kind of, that's just a single day fishing. Also, career-wise, I mean, I've started professionally fishing in 1995, and here I am still in 2022. I'm actually one of the elder statesmen on the Major League Fishing's Tacklewarehouse Pro Circuit. It's hard to believe, but yeah, I'm one of the old guys now. How did I get here? It's by persevering. It's by doing what it takes, by just grinding and persevering, not ignoring, but seeing the odds and trying to find a way around those odds to beat them. I'm still here. Who knows how much longer I'll be here, but I'm here now, and I'm here today, and this Pickwick tournament is this week. This is, what is this, mid-April. The fish should be spawning. I'm going to be looking for spawning fish. I'm going to be looking for places where I can see them, but also there may be fish spawning out off the bank where you can't see them. So I will be trying both types of fishing. There's also docks in this lake. I like fishing docks. I will have a look at some of those docks. This is a notorious ledge bite on this lake. However, I don't really think I'm going to look for that ledge bite. We get 2 days of practice. I think I'll have my hands full with the other things. And the weather's really going to heat up. You know, in practice, we're going to have highs in the low to mid 60s, I think is what I saw. But for the tournament, we're going to get into the 80s. Things are going to heat up. The spawning should really get ramped up. So I think spawning type presentations are going to be necessary. Although there's always that first hour and a half or so, that's often a time to use those moving baits and cover water and try to take advantage of some kind of active bite. But when you get that heat when you're at the spawning time and you get all that heat, it seems like those fish just kind of get sluggish. They don't hit the moving baits later in the day. So I'm going to keep that in mind. This lake has been good to me at times. I've got 2 second places here, but it's been bad at times. Those 2 second places, one was in pre-spawn, one was in the fall. Both times it was ledge fishing. I'm not even going to be looking at ledges much in this tournament, so we will see what I can do. 2 days to practice on the lake like this is tough. There's always a spillway bite. We're going out of the bottom end of the lake. The spillway is, about a 50-mile run up the lake. And I'm sure there'll be guys up there doing that. You get up there in that fast water below the dam, and there will be some fast water because the lake, there's been a lot of rain. The water's high. The water's moving. That's something I may end up looking at myself before it's all said and done. But for tomorrow, I'm going to just try to do the best I can to get a feel for the spawn and what I need to do to catch spawning fish. So with all that being said, wish me luck this week, and I will check back with you tomorrow night with another story of my dad and report on the fishing for the first day of practice. Over.